Yesterday's total solar eclipse appears to have spiked Google searches about hurt eyes. Here's a look from Google Trends in Canada for the term hurt eyes. That peak you see there represents Monday's queries, which mostly came from regions in the path of totality. All right, let's bring in Canada Tonight medical contributor Dr. Samir Gupta. Dr. Gupta, good to see you. Let's talk about this. I know a lot of people are interested. What do these search results tell us about people and how they viewed yesterday's eclipse?
Yeah, these Google searches kind of are a reflection on our society, on what people are thinking and going through. And they've been used in, there's a whole bunch of medical studies where they've been used to very effectively predict infectious disease outbreaks, because people start Googling their various symptoms, and you can use that. And so it tells us that, I think the word got out, but maybe not everybody took it seriously, or maybe people used inadequate protection like sunglasses, or they had eclipse glasses that weren't properly rated, or hopefully it was just the people, preemptively checking, what would be the symptoms if things did go sideways. But it tells us people certainly had this on their minds.
So what is it about an eclipse that is so dangerous for our eyes without the proper protection, like those eclipse glasses?
Yeah, so it's interesting. It's not that it's necessarily brighter, but, outside of an eclipse, when you try to look at the sun, we've all had the experience that, it hurts. It's irritating. You can't look at the sun for a long period of time. You just naturally look away unless you really force yourself to look at it. What's different with an eclipse is that it's as bright, but in the part of the eclipse where most of the sun is covered by the moon, you don't have that immediate response. You actually can look at it, but you don't realize how bright that arc of light is. And what's happening is that all of that light gets focused in on one part of the back of your eye. The back of the eye is a layer of cells called the retina that takes that light and transforms that into an electrical signal that the brain uses to see the images. And so if you focus all of that visible light and that infrared radiation onto that one part of the retina, it can get very hot, Travis, and that it can actually boil the liquid inside the cells of that part of the retina, and that's called a retinal burn, or it's called eclipse blindness. That part of the eye becomes blind.
Oh, wow. I did not know that. I mean, what are some of the symptoms of this that people should be looking out for?
Yeah, so this is called solar retinopathy. So sort of this kind of damage and the damage that goes with it, and various different things. The most common would probably just be a blind spot, because you lose vision in that area, usually in the center of your visual field, one eye or both eyes. You can also have just blurry vision. You can have the light can be painful. You can also have some distortion. So straight lines can look curvy. Objects can look smaller than they are. Colors can look off. So a few different ways this can affect your vision.
Would you have had to look at it for a sustained amount of time? Or, even if you looked at it for a couple of seconds without the proper protection, is it bad?
Yeah, so even within a few seconds, you could have some damage. And the longer you look at it, more serious that damage could be. But it doesn't have to actually have been a long period of time looking at it without any protection to get damaged.
Okay, here's a key question. Can it be reversed?
It can. So for most people, obviously, if you have these kinds of symptoms, go see your doctor, and you'll need an exam of the back of your eye, an exam of the retina, and various different tests. Most people will get better over weeks to months. A small percentage of people, though, will have permanent damage. So depending on how bad that initial damage was to the retina, but luckily most people will get better over time.
So moving forward, obviously, we're not going to see another eclipse for a very long time. But I mean, this does highlight eye protection, and how important is it to protect our eyes from the sun?
Yeah, it's a good point, because we have sunblock for our skin, but you obviously can't put sunblock on your eyeballs. So, sunglasses are the sunblock for your eyeballs, and that's important. Whether you're in the car, whether it's a cloudy day, the UV light will affect your eyeballs as it affects your skin. It causes different things. The UV light can actually accelerate formation of cataracts in the eye that can affect vision, accelerates macular degeneration or age-related loss of vision. It can actually cause rare types of eye cancer in itself. Don't forget that we have eyelids there. Sometimes people don't put sunblock properly on their eyelids, so there is such a thing as skin cancer of the eyelid, particularly what we call basal cell carcinoma. There's various different things that can happen, so really important not to forget to protect the eye from those UV rays.
Can't let you go without asking you if you saw the eclipse yesterday the proper way with protection. Did you go out there and see it? What do you think?
I did. Yeah, I had, I was in Montreal, and I was lucky because it wasn't cloudy. I had the right glasses, and it was spectacular. It really was something.
Well, you were lucky, yeah. I mean, Toronto here, it was cloudy. And I know a lot of people across the country had better views than we did here in the 6, and you were one of them. Doctor, appreciate this as always. That is Dr. Samir Gupta, Canada Tonight's medical contributor.